do we have a choice on which essay we can write? Yes. Yes, good. I like that the questions are here. So, Obama, when you get your topic, right, it will never ever say write a discursive essay, write an argumentative essay, write a narrative essay. You just write the essay that you feel. You cannot be penalized. Teachers are not allowed to ask learners, please write a narrative essay on the following topic. But before we look at this, if we then go to past papers, you will see that some of the topics are actually inclined to a certain type of essay. So the way that you interpret it is up to you. The type of essay that you write is up to you. But you'll see now, for example, when we go, it will always look like this, guys. You will always have 5 written topics, and then excuse me, and then you will also have 3 pictures. Okay, so it will look like this from now till your final exams that you guys write. Okay, so if we go and look at topic number 1, the Song of Dawn. The Song of Dawn can thank you. The Song of Dawn is a topic that can be narrative. It's a topic that can be reflective. It's a topic that can be descriptive. This topic isn't necessarily something that would lead towards an argumentative or discursive essay. What would you be discussing here in regards to positives or negatives? Not much. You can't actually. So this type of topic, if you had to go and write an argumentative essay about it, you would have to be, I wouldn't, if I'm looking to write an argumentative essay or discursive essay, I wouldn't look at touching this topic. If we look at the second topic, ethical leadership is underrated. This topic is more an argumentative essay. It's more a discursive essay, because what you'd be looking at here is discussing ethical leadership. What is ethical leadership? Good leadership, upright leadership. Is it underrated? Do you need to have ethics in your leadership to be a good leader? So this topic here, also, I don't necessarily like it the way that it's worded, but this topic here would be a topic where you would speak about pros and cons, or you would just speak about one side, that if you are a leader, you have to be ethical. You can't be corrupt. You can't be this. You can't be that. So this topic then would be more of an argumentative or a discursive topic. 1.3, if I have seen further than others, it was by standing on the shoulders of giants. This is a quote by Sir Isaac Newton. Once again, what are you going to... You can actually answer or write an argumentative essay about this, about how you should keep people close to you, the giants in your life, about how you should have people that uplift you instead of break you down. So for this, you could write discursive, argumentative, but once again, I wouldn't. What I've noticed is that when they usually ask this, guys, the majority out of the 5, one of them is usually an argumentative, discursive topic, where writing a narrative, a descriptive or reflective essay isn't going to make sense. It's the same with your assessment on Friday. The one topic that I give leans strongly towards an argumentative, discursive topic or essay rather than a narrative, descriptive, or reflective. The best kind of gift is one given in secret. Again, you can argue or write a discursive essay about how when you maybe give gifts, when you bless a homeless person, you shouldn't be doing it with, hello, homeless man. Hello, homeless man. Yeah, please take this pen. Please take this pen. Or I haven't got money with me now. Yeah, homeless man. Oh, I want to bless you with this pen today. Oh, and then you like shove the phone into the guy's face to show how grateful he is. You could kind of argue that point to say that when you give gifts, it should be done in secret. You don't give gifts or bless people for self praise or self gratification. You do it because you want to be a blessing. You should put yourself you should put yourself second. Hey, so if we're speaking about the, yeah, if we're speaking about blessing the homeless people, yeah, Devon, yeah, yeah, please take this, please. Oh, you look so hungry. Here you go. Have some of this salt and vinegar salt by Robertsons. If anyone knows Robertsons and they want to sponsor me, please get me into contact with them. Salt and vinegar salt. Do you guys like salt and vinegar salt? I love this stuff. Stuff's good. Anyways, everything paused around me. The sky once again. Yes, salt and vinegar salt. Look at that. I'll bring some tomorrow. It's amazing. On popcorn, it is so good. I'll make us some popcorn tomorrow, Devon, and I'll put some of the salt on. But you're gonna love it. It's amazing. Anyways, can we focus, guys? Can we focus? No, you don't sniff. Why do you just have that around you? Guys, stop judging me, okay? Stop judging me. Why is there random goats walking around everywhere in the townships always? I don't ask these questions because I accept you for who you are. I hear rumors about in Venda, there's just goats everywhere. You walk down the road, there's a goat, there's a cow. You go to a nightclub, there's goats busy bartending. There's goats that are dancing on the tables. I don't ask these questions, so don't ask me questions about my salt and vinegar salt. Okay? The goats always have a home. Leave the goats alone. I like guys, if I could choose to be one culture, I would be Venda. I would choose to be a Venda. Second is Tonga. Okay, guys. So do you see that the topics they kind of get you to a point of where you when you read it, you will kind of like pick up on what type of essay you're going to write. But nowhere will it ever say the Song of Dawn, write an argumentative essay about it. So you can take this topic and you can write a story. You can reflect on it. You can write a description about it, about how beautiful the Song of Dawn is. What is the Song of Dawn? So I wouldn't look at this in a literal way. I would look at this in a figurative way, because the Song of Dawn in a literal way, yeah, not very good topics there. Let's go and look at 2019's topics quickly. English Home Language Paper 3. So let's see what we have here. My Inner Landscape. A descriptive essay, a reflective essay about how you are always under construction. You are a piece of art at work. You are being built together, or you are building yourself up into who and what you want to be. No bird soars too high if he soars with his own wings. Once again, reflective there. Yeah, it's not very good. Breaking the code of silence. Once again, you can write an argumentative here about how you should speak up. You shouldn't keep quiet. You can write a discursive essay about how sometimes keeping quiet is better. Some of you, these topics aren't very good, guys. Again, if you, what is going on here? They are playing volleyball while there is a random child on a horse at the back. Wow. Okay. Guys, if you struggle to look at these topics here and you struggle to write something, I would once again recommend going to the picture, because you can interpret this picture in your own way about how people shouldn't follow the crowd, or people shouldn't follow a person who thinks that they're in control. You should be your own individual. You could speak about how your love is slowly decaying. So yeah, you can speak about, I don't know what. I wouldn't choose this picture. I don't think it's very good. But once again, if you then look at a picture, you can interpret it in your own way. The only thing that I ask is that whatever you say or write about has to do with the picture that you have chosen. Okay. What are some common mistakes we can avoid when writing the essays? I will look at that now. Let me just look at this here again. Behind the closed door. Here you can write a story about a door that you found in your house and you don't know what's behind it. Or You can write about how your parents told you never to open the door in the basement because there is a hidden horror behind it. Freedom of speech is a myth. This again would be an argumentative topic where you can speak about freedom of speech and how everyone's entitled to freedom of speech. A sense of humor is the pole that adds balance to our steps as we talk. Once again, in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. These quotes, when I set up your papers, I really try and give. When I give you guys these topics, or when I give or produce a paper, I try and give you something that you guys can relate to. I think that the people at the department that set up these papers are very old school and very old fashioned, and they think that freedom of speech is a myth, is something that's going to make you guys think creatively. But no, I don't like it. Again, I would go to the picture here. You can speak about how your light can be the light to others, about how your influence can influence others to be a light. So again, yeah, you can speak about the joys of having been a child and not having the stress of being a grown-up or being in matric. Oh, this is very good. You can speak about how you are a stone slab and you want to allow God to mold you into what and who you want to be. But you can also speak about about how the tools are in your hand and you can mold and create your future. So aren't you trying to accidentally give us the topics for Friday? Guys, I don't need to give you guys the topics for Friday because you guys are creative enough to adapt and do your own thing. I don't need to. No. If I wanted to give you guys the topics, I would have given you the topics. But A, I'm not allowed to. And B, you guys don't need it because you guys have the creative capacity to write about anything that I give you. Okay. When we look at some of the things that you guys make a mistake with in essay writing, is I need you guys to have a strong intro followed by your body, followed by a strong conclusion. So what I mean about that is I need you guys to take the topic. When I read your introduction, I need to know what the main idea of your essay is going to be about. Okay, so if I read your introduction, I need to know, okay, you are writing, if we go back here, you are writing about picture 1.6.3, which you've titled molding my future, or something in regards to that. Allowing the hands of God to create or mold me into who I need to be. Okay? So if I go and I read your introduction, I need to know, okay, your essay is going to be about that. When we then get to the body is the main area for expressing and explaining your point of view or opinion. Okay, so with that, then after you have made your introduction, or you have written your introduction, your body is then going to explain what your point of view is on that. And remember, guys, we don't necessarily have one body paragraph because it's 400. Your essay is going to be 400 words. In paper 3, it's 400 to 450 words. So with that, guys, your body paragraph is most likely going to be more than one paragraph. So you can't just go and take one aspect, one sentence, and just discuss that. It's going to have various things. So if we go and we look at the molding, we can say you can, if we're speaking about being created or molded, we can speak about molded by society and why it is wrong to take on the mold of society. Why? Because society sees things like alcohol and sex as being normal. And then what you can then speak about is why it is bad for your self image to be molded in this way. Okay? So, second body paragraph, you can then you can then speak about being molded by God, right? Why is that important? Then what you will speak about there is we are created. We are created in His image, and He is the cornerstone, the best example of how one should live your life. Okay? Then that should usually, so with the introduction, guys, your introduction, if we look at it, could be about 70 words plus minus. Okay? The two body paragraphs is going to be the core, so that's going to be about 200 to 250 words, maybe, right? So we have 300 and 320 words, and then your conclusion would then be around about 80 words. Okay, sure. I'll explain that now. I'm going to do an essay with you guys, and then I'll show you how to transition. Okay. So then your conclusion, you are just going to pretty much restate what was said in the intro, but with that you are going to add your point of view and why it is important to you. So what I mean about that is then in my conclusion, what I'm going to go and write is I will reiterate, I will restate and say we are molded by various aspects in life. It is inevitable. How do you spell inevitable? Inevitable. Oh, I spelled it correctly. It is inevitable. There is, however, a crucial factor that we need to consider, and that is we are the ones who decide what molds us. If you want to be molded by society, so then you will just pretty much go and re-emphasize why being molded by society is wrong, why being molded by God is a better point of view. This is just a quick way of looking at it. So then your conclusion at the end will also most likely be 50 to 70 words. If your intro is a bit shorter, guys, you can always go here and write 200 to 300 words. So you can have 3 paragraphs of 100. Can't we just use ChatGPT? Yes. Yes, you can. But what do you want to use it for? To write an essay for you? By all means, guys. By all means. Let's go here and let's take Chaos is a friend of mine. You can go and you can prompt it. Doing this to me. You can prompt it and say, write me a narrative essay, matric level, on the following topic. If you sneak your phone in and I find out that you're cheating, I'm going to slap you. You are smarter than your phone. You don't need your phone. If you're going to cheat, just don't pitch up. Let me just give you 0. Otherwise, it's disciplinary hearings and stuff. No, you don't sneak your phone in. You prepare before the time. On the following topic, 400 to 450 words in length. We don't look at the Peel method, Melindy, for this. Yes, Sukuts. Look at this. Look how quickly this is. The only thing I don't like about this is the one word lines for paragraphs. I don't like that. So what we then do is we just say, let's not add single line paragraphs. Keep it together in a proper structure. Intro, body, paragraphs, and a conclusion. What if chaos is the friend's name? Yes, that's fine. You can do that. You can do that. But remember, you're on a matric level. So to say chaos is a friend of yours and to kind of like write about it being a friend's name, are you gonna be able to keep your are you going to be able to keep your creativity? Do you guys see here that it has an intro, it has 1, 2, 3 body paragraphs, and then it has a conclusion? Yeah, I know. I need to do that. I did it last time as well. So Sukut asked, no, okay, I'll get to Sukut asked, can you have an essay and then adapt it? Guys, I would highly recommend that. I would have it write me one narrative with elements of descriptive and reflective. Write me an argumentative. Write me a discursive. On random topics so that I can remember and adapt it to my assessment. Guys, you are more than like able to do that. How am I going to know that you use ChatGPT to write or give you ideas? Okay. I'm not going to try Grok. This is I have an upgraded version. I paid the subscription, so I have a very good version of ChatGPT. I just don't. It's not prompting or doing what I'm asking it to do because I haven't asked it to do it. So yeah, we have the day everything changed. It's a narrative, descriptive, reflective essay. Again, you guys can see I just don't like the single line, but other than that, look at the structure of it. And what you can do then, Sukuts, is you can literally go and memorize everything that was said here, and then instead of the day everything changed, if you have a topic where you can then implement this, and you can't use the word day, then the year everything changed, or the moment everything changed. Then you would just adapt what has been written here into your paper. But guys, I'm so scared to say this because I don't want people going in and thinking that they're going to use their cell phone and then copy that. I don't want any of that, guys. And I'm going to pick up, guys, I promise you, I will pick up if you guys wrote it down word from word for ChatGPT. I want you guys to use this as a reference to enrich and to improve your writing. Yes? There we have an argumentative essay. There we have a discursive essay. So now I have 3 different essays that I have pretty much remembered. And how can you tell? Oh, I can tell. Because someone who speaks like badly and all of a sudden they go and get a 90% for an essay, it doesn't make sense. Please don't use your phones, guys. You do not need to cheat. You guys are You guys are smart enough to write your own work, and I can see with the transactional pieces, you guys have the ability. So back yourselves. I'm here to help you guys. Yes, we can look at all of this, we can look at all of this, but in your final exam, guys, remember, it's you alone. It's not you and your phone. So you can use all of these things. You can definitely use all of AI to help you prepare. So this paper counts 50 marks out of the 5 assessments that we have. It is by far the highest counting assessment this term. It counts 50 out of, I don't know what the total is, but this is the assessment or the assignment that counts the most. So I think then, guys, let's just go and look at this quickly so that you guys can just know what is going on. No, I don't want you to save. Give me a new. So your paper on Friday is 1.5 hours. It is 400. I don't know if I said 400 to 450 words, but for paper 3, it's 400 to 450 words. You can write any type of essay, but please be sure you write about the given topic you have chosen. So you need to make reference to the topic that you guys have chosen. The next thing is you need a minimum of 3 paragraphs, namely an intro, a body, and a conclusion. The body paragraph can be more than 1 paragraph because of the word length. Okay. Then this is very important. All essays are written in formal English, no informal English. That means no slang, no abbreviations, no informal English, nothing vulgar. Keep it PG-13. Yes, it has to be formal. All essays since grade 8 need to be formal. So you can't go no contractions. So you can't say I'm. That's wrong. You have to say I am. So with the word count, if the instruction specifically said the body should be around, you will never get instructions that say you are just given a word count. You are not given an instruction or a prompt that says the body needs to be a specific. You are given a word count, and that is for the entire essay. Again, guys, you need a planning, which can be a first draft, which I wouldn't recommend, or a detailed mind map or flow chart. Mind map, 2 words. Okay. editing can be done on the final draft without being penalized. Okay, so once again, guys, I wouldn't recommend a first draft, because if you do a first draft, guys, and you write 450 words, A, it's going to take super long. B, at the end, you are then going to have to write 900 words. So with that, I would then go and say, if we look at the 1.5 hours, I would then go and say, spend maximum 20 minutes on planning, and then that means you have 1.5, that means you have 60, that means you then have 70 minutes for a final plus editing. No, Wonga, it's an hour and a half. That's why I said 1.5 hours. But I understand not everyone has pure math. Is there a limit to how many words I can edit? No, there is no limit at all. The only thing that you need to do is when editing, let's say now you write a sentence, for example, the man was sad, and you want to edit this, right? What you then do is you will go and you will say, or you'll draw a line through it, and then at the top of it, you then rewrite neatly. You will then write neatly what you wanted to say. So the man was sad. I want to improve it a bit. The man had a heavy heart. So I know this is out of topic, but can the visual aid for the speech be a video you play on your phone, or does it need to be a poster? No, any video that you want to play, that you want to incorporate. Some people had music that they were playing, so any visual or audio aid is correct, Ludwig. Okay, guys, so let's just recap here, please. Hour and a half, 400 to 450 words. You can write any type of essay, but please be sure that the essay matches the type of topic that you have. Okay, please don't go and write a argumentative essay if the topic leans more towards a narrative essay. You're going to lose marks. You need a minimum of 3 paragraphs. So you need an intro, you need a body, which can be more than 1 paragraph, and then you need a conclusion. All essays from now till the end must be written in formal English. So you cannot have slang, you cannot have abbreviations, you cannot have contractions. The only time that you can have an apostrophe actually in a formal essay is when you are speaking about possession. So, for example, the man's hat would then be correct. How do I make it tick? Look how fancy I am. Right? No informal English, so no contractions. That just pretty much means everything I said earlier. And guys, please, nothing vulgar. So, like, it is, it's so difficult, guys. The Department of Education doesn't want you to, like, speak about murder or death or anything like that, but all of the books we're reading, like, speaks about it. So, I don't know, guys. They contrast each other. When it gets to that. You can speak about, you can say that the man got to a point in his life where he became addicted to heroin and he started smoking weed constantly. That is correct. But you can't go and say, my dad lured her into the room after intoxicating her with vodka. He then slit her throat and dismembered her and shoved her body parts into a bag. That's when you lose marks. That's when you lose marks. Okay. Um, I like I like how your words looks. How much to give me full marks? You have to write exceptionally well. In the last, the highest I've ever given was 49 out of 50. I've never given a full marks for an English essay. You have to be exceptional. You have to be beyond exceptional. Can we say brutally murdered is correct? Just don't go into detail about how the person was brutally murdered. And also, guys, I would once again, I wouldn't speak about things like she was raped, or I would stay away from it, guys. If the topic that you're writing about you can't speak to your younger sibling about, then I wouldn't write about it. But also, you don't need to write about things like that. I know a lot of you guys kind of like read murder novels and so on and so forth, and it's very descriptive and it's good, but we sadly have to abide by what the Department of Education wants. Guys, again, then you need a planning, which can be a mind map or a flow chart. Um, if you do a first draft, your editing can be done on that first draft, then your final draft doesn't need editing. But if you do a mind map or you do a flow chart, then the editing can be done on the final draft without being penalized. And then, guys, this is important. Please, when you have your when it's the day that you guys are writing, please, guys, the reading time, the 10 minutes before the time, is very important, because it kind of allows you to kind of gauge what you want to write about. So a topic that catches your eye, and it allows you to kind of like think and get a bit of a head start as to what you want to write about, even before the assessment starts. So can you leak one topic for a birthday present? Can you please leak 1,000 rand for a donation? 1,000 rand, not 1,000 zim, because that's like 5 rand. No, I don't need to. I don't need to leak anything. Detailed mind map. A detailed mind map is just a mind map that's written in paragraphs, Wanga. Yes, I agree. No need to leak topics. I really don't need to, guys. You guys really aren't as bad as you think you are at English. Well, this part of it at least. We haven't gotten to the literature yet, or to the language. Oh, I pray for a South Africa where we have fast internet. Yes, and you have Chat GPT. So this is an example of a detailed mind map. As long as I can see that planning has been done, you can even write more. This to me is actually not as detailed. Remember, the more you write, the and your essay is better. Remember, guys, this needs to serve as something that I can see. Okay, you have done proper planning, which has led to a good essay. If your essay is poor, then I know your planning was poor. To be honest, guys, teachers just see if there is a planning. They don't necessarily go and read what you've written in your planning. But if I go and I get an essay and there's a part that doesn't make sense, then I go and read the planning to see what you were trying to say. So you can't get to a point of where this is poor, it leads to a poor essay. And when teachers actually go and look at this, then they go and say, okay, yeah, it still doesn't make sense. We never want you to get there. We want you to get to a point of where the essay that is produced, we don't even need to look at the planning, because a good essay is the byproduct of good planning. Like I'd mentioned in the previous lesson that we did on the transactional writing, for me, writing an essay and then doing the planning was a lot easier than me just me just getting to a point of where I had to sit and plan, because I tend to overthink. I'm a person that when I write, it's almost like it flows a lot better than when I try and think about what I want to write. You can be 10 to 20 words over the limit, guys, and I've said this before. Please don't get to a point of where you try and fool me. If you're over the word count, write what your word count is. Don't lie to me. If it's 400 words and you've written 10 pages, guys, I'm not stupid. Please be honest. You are allowed to go over the word count by about 10 words. No, they check the word count. No, I check the word count. Try me. Try me, guys. This time round, I'm exposing people. I will put on a live stream, and everyone who flippin' lies about their word count, I'm going to expose you. I'll even go, look how angry I am. I'll even go onto the school's thing, and I will bring up your picture. I'll bring up your photo. Oh, no, Devon doesn't actually write badly. Devon, guys, Devon is actually he gets nervous when he's supposed to speak, but he's actually not bad at English. No one's gonna have 700. Guys, do you understand this? Do you want? Let's ask it. Generate an example of a flow chart. Just as long as I can see planning has taken place, then I'm happy. If I can see planning has taken place, then I'm very happy. That is why planning, guys, I don't understand why some people in an hour and a half paper spend 30 minutes on planning. It shouldn't take that long. It should never ever take that long. You can have a mind map, and then you can have a flow chart, which is generating for us now. And then I think after that, I've covered a lot of the things. Guys, I think also if we go and look at language, guys, one thing that I'm picking up is spelling. A lot of you guys need to know a lot is always 2 words. You need to know the difference between there, and this one you're not even allowed to use. There, you need to know the difference between two, and two, your, and you are. So these ones, you aren't, in an essay, you're not allowed using these. You're not allowed using them because these are contractions. Okay? There, two, your and your. What else do you guys do? At least is also 2 words. A lot of you guys write it as 1. It's not. I'm struggling to think of things at the top of my head. This is a flow chart, guys. So when we look at this, you start off with your what's the name? This isn't detailed enough though. This isn't detailed enough. At least 2 words. Is that an Oxford comma? The Oxford comma is when you have a sentence that says the boy went to the shop to purchase eggs, comma, bread and milk. The Oxford comma is when you put a comma after the and, which isn't needed. But that is correct, and that is correct. Whoopsie, that. The Oxford comma is something new. But back in the day, geez, I'm old. Whenever you had a list of something, you would just add a comma in between, And when you get to the final thing on the list, it is an and, which also indicates the finality of the list. But that or like that is correct. You understand silent? Silent. I don't know if your name was supposed to be Asian or yeah, silent. You understand? Sire. Guys, and then another thing. Where's Nao? I hope Nao's here. I, the pronoun. Oopsie. Always a capital letter. Guys, I do not know how we are making this mistakes. Guys, it's not I. You see, even look at this. It doesn't even allow it. It's not I as a small letter. It's a capital letter regardless of whether it's at the start or in the middle or at the end of a sentence. We cannot be making mistakes like that. We cannot be making mistakes like that, guys. I think what I'm going to do, so here's a more detailed one. You have your idea and then a flow of how your essay is going to go. So you can have your essay topic, then the flow would be introduction, then from the introduction it would be body, and then what's being written in the body, and then conclusion. Yes. So this is also correct, guys. You can have a mind map or a flow chart. Okay. Do we have any questions so far, guys? I'm just going to go to the toilet again quickly. This energy drink is running through me. Okay. Guys, I think then let's look at an essay with discursive or argumentative. For those of you guys that want to look at the narrative essay, the video is on YouTube, so you guys can go and check that one out, where I do write a narrative, reflective, descriptive type essay. But I think then for today's activity, let's go and let's look at an argumentative or discursive topic. Let's go there. Excuse me, it's been a long day. Let's go to 2020. No, not first editional language. Oh, okay, this isn't bad. Modern trends have replaced cultural beliefs and practices. So, as we can see from this topic is clearly an argumentative topic. Why do I say it's argumentative or discursive? Because modern trends, now we can argue, have they replaced cultural beliefs and practices today, or haven't they? We can speak about, yes, they have. In some cases, no, they haven't. In other cases. Okay? So what that then means is we can argue only one side of it, being a subjective point of view, or we can argue it as a objective point of view, the positives and the negatives. So if I look at this, and this is difficult for me because being a white South African, I wasn't necessarily grown up with a lot of cultural beliefs and practices. I think that this topic is a much better topic for a black South African because you guys are a lot more culturally prone than we are. Maybe I just didn't grow up in a very cultural background. So I think from a perspective of a black South African, it is much easier to write about this topic than it is for me to necessarily write about it. So is there a possibility of there being a reflective essay in Friday's paper? So Malindi, a reflective essay, yes, there can be, but always remember, guys, you are allowed to, oh, I deleted it. You are allowed to have elements of a reflective essay in a narrative essay. You are allowed to have elements of a descriptive essay in a narrative essay. You are allowed to argue a point in a reflective essay or in a descriptive essay. Your essays are allowed to overlap. So if we kind of like look at this and we look at, go away, block, undo. No! If we look at it, right, and we go over here like this, we go over here like this. No, let me do that better. Like this. We go over here like this. If we then go and we look here, right, and we have a narrative essay. A narrative essay can overlap into a reflective essay, and it can also overlap into a descriptive essay. So when you write, guys, that's why I say don't try and think, okay, I'm going to write a narrative essay, and then you focus so hard on only writing a story that every time something descriptive comes up that you want to delete it or that you want to throw it away. So if we look at the narrative essay, it will be it will make sense that we will then have elements of a reflective in it. Okay? But then also, it will make sense that if we write a reflective essay, that we can have aspects of narrative in it as well. I don't know. I don't know about Pajama Day. Why are we talking about Pajama Day? Can we focus, please? You can then also have a narrative essay, but you can have aspects of descriptive in it. Right? You can have a narrative essay that has aspects of descriptive and reflective in it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. If you have an essay that's only narrative, it's fine that you... Why isn't it doing it? It's fine that you only have narrative in it. But I can tell you now that in the way, if you write a good essay, you're always going to have elements of description in it, not necessarily reflection. Because reflection is you're speaking about past experiences and how it's created you or molded you into who you are today. Does that answer your question, Malindi? Okay, so there's nothing wrong with that. When we look at, if we go and we look at if we look at an argumentative essay and we look at a discursive essay, so if we have argumentative, I think that's spelled correctly. If we have an argumentative essay and we have a discursive essay, the difference between the two is an argumentative only has one point of view, a discursive essay has 2 points of view. Right? In the argumentative essay, you will then go and you will speak about your point of view, and then you will emphasize why it's your point of view. An argumentative essay will then have one point of view. So an argumentative is always subjective, right? A discursive is objective. So it will always have the positives and the negatives. Okay? So a subjective essay means that you only argue your point of view. Whereas a discursive essay, you argue both points of view. So in the argumentative, you argue only your point of view. The moment you are writing about something and you go against what you have said, it changes from an argumentative to a discursive essay. So if we look at the argumentative essay and we look at the topic, should dating be allowed in high school? And you say dating should not be allowed in high school, but then in one of your body paragraphs you go and write, maybe dating will develop social skills. Then you're contradicting yourself, which means that you're losing language marks and you are losing structure marks. Because your essay has indicated that you are going to argue a point. Whereas if you then said in your introduction, dating in high school is one of those gray areas for a lot. Some people believe that there is a positive to it, and some people believe that there is a negative to it. I believe that there is both pros and cons to dating in high school. So in your introduction, you have then introduced that you're speaking about a discursive, you're arguing your objective point of view, the pros and the cons. And then this is where the difference comes in. Where an argumentative essay is your point of view, in your conclusion, you reiterate, you emphasize why it's your point of view. In a discursive essay, you then go and you take the positives, you take the negatives, and then you go and say what you believe in. Oh, I wanted to draw a block. So looking at this and looking at that, it is clearly evident that, so you argue both sides and then just come to a point where argumentative essay, if someone can, or if you agree with someone that you're arguing with, then you are going to lose marks. Let's go and look here. Where is it? There. So, what I just asked, a discursive essay argues both the pros and the cons, the negatives, the positives, the rights, the wrongs, and then in the end, in the conclusion, you will then write what your point of view is. So what it does here is, in the introduction, you introduce your topic, you show that it is debatable, I like that, and then there is no strong opinion yet. Then the body, you're going to use one side, so you're going to speak about why it is positive. Then the next body paragraph, you're going to speak about the negatives. And then in the conclusion, and this is very opinion, then you give your point of view as to what you believe. Okay? So an argumentative essay, you are going to have, you're going to introduce your topic. You're not going to show that it's debatable. You already are going to make up your mind. You are going to say, I do not believe in this, right? You will then show a strong opinion. Then you will not have, so if you have where you're only arguing the positives of it, you cannot argue the negatives of it, because then it becomes a discursive essay. And then in the conclusion, you finally give your point of view again as to why you believe what it is. So, yes, I don't think that I can explain it more. It's self-explanatory, I think. Do you guys understand the difference between the two? Okay, good. So, modern trends have replaced cultural beliefs and practices. Like I said, guys, this topic is difficult for me. So, I think I'm going to change it to um, should high school learners be allowed to date? Again, yeah, I'm choosing this topic because it's an easy example. I think if you guys had to speak about the modern trends and cultural things, you can speak about things in line with should initiation still be taking place, should praying to ancestors still be a thing. You guys have a lot more. How can I say cultural practices? I think than what I do. So that topic would be difficult for me to speak about. Biggest druggie here is guys, your name. Okay, so if we then had to, let's say for the first one, it's a discursive essay. This is how my and guys, I'm just writing discursive here so that you guys know that if I was to write a discursive essay, the intro would look like this. You don't go and write discursive essay, okay? Please don't make that mistake. I'm just doing that now to indicate to you guys. Let me just flip and do this. Okay, so then my introduction. So if we then go back to what it had said to us earlier, we are going to introduce the topic. We are going to show that it's debatable, and we're not going to give our opinion yet. So what we are going to do then is we are going to go and we are going to say, dating is something all of us will experience one day in our lives. There have been many discussions as to what the correct age should be for when a teenager starts dating. Now, we're not going to go and say this essay seeks to... This isn't history. You don't have to write this essay seeks. I want to see from your introduction that this is discursive. Okay? There have been many discussions as to what the correct age should be for when teenagers start dating. Teenagers start dating. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so I was right. Okay, so with dating comes a lot of positives and negatives. You don't even have to say that because it's kind of redundant. So I would even just take this as an introduction. I'm keeping it short now. You guys can add a bit more. You guys can almost add to. You can even add a rhetorical question. Should teenagers date during their time in high school or not? Did you guys see what I did now? Did you guys see that I've introduced the topic? Did you guys see that you don't know whether I am for it or against it? I've asked a question, and what the question also does here is it kind of entices the person that is reading to kind of want to read further. So if this is now discursive, body paragraph 1, I am going to list the positive. Dating not only allows a person to spend time and socialize with others. Guys, why is the Z incorrect? Why should it be an S? Why is the Z incorrect? Because we are not American. We do not write in American English. We write in UK English. We are not American. So we never use Z's, we use S's. S, S. In it, bruv. In it, bruv. Dating not only allows a person to spend time and socialize with others, but it allows a person to learn and understand what they are looking for in a partner. It allows not only socialization to take place, but it allows a person to climb out of their shell and discover that there might be plenty of fish in the sea. Okay? This was the positive point of view. Sir, can you please give us advice on how to improve transitioning to the next paragraph? Yes, I will do that. I will do that now. Just let me finish this, and then sorry, I forgot about that. So, body paragraph 1, I have spoken about one of the positives. Now, because it's a discursive essay, body paragraph 2 has to mention something that is negative. Dating can lead to distractions. High school is a place for learning and acquiring knowledge. Dating can cause a learner to become distracted, and this will not only influence their marks, but it can have a detrimental impact on shaping their future. A learner cannot focus if his or her heart is broken. No, you don't write point of view. You don't write point of view. I'm just showing you that this is the discursive essay. The stuff in brackets you don't write. No. Bad boy. You don't write point of view. I'm just doing this for educational purposes. Hello? Do we understand? So this then would be negative point of view. Okay, but do you understand? I'm just doing this to kind of show you. Okay? Then if we have our intro, our body, positive point, negative point, then in the conclusion, we will then answer the question. Should a teenager date during their time in high school? So if you are then leaning towards it being negative, you could then have teenagers should focus on their books and acquiring knowledge in high school. There is enough time after school for learners to pick up on socializing skills. Focus and energy should not be wasted on something or someone that might end up breaking your heart. And that's it. This is the format of a discursive essay. You make your point, you argue the positive, you argue the negative, you draw your conclusion at the end. How easy is that, guys? Do you guys understand? Am I going to get a response, or am I speaking to bots? Do you guys understand this so that I can move on to the argumentative essay? Honey, I'm going to explain the transition now. I haven't forgotten about you. Okay. Do you guys see how easy this is? So if we go and we look at that original topic earlier of modern trends have replaced cultural beliefs. In our introduction, we are going to speak about what modern trends are. We're going to speak about what cultural beliefs and practices are. Society is not stagnant. Society progresses. Therefore, keeping up with modern trends is something that is inevitable. The only constant is change in this life. Therefore, modern trends have become vital in teenagers' lives today. Cultural beliefs and practices are also things that serve as a great foundation. As many people say, to appreciate the future, you need to respect the past. But I ask you this: have modern trends replaced cultural beliefs and practices? Why didn't I write that down? That was good. Do you guys see what I did there? Am I arguing what I believe to be true, whether modern trends have replaced it or not? No, I haven't. I have given I want it to be ambiguous in a sense that you are not saying yes or no. Let me just go and check here. So discursive, jeez guys, I don't look at my keyboard when I type. So discursive essays can have an element of ambiguity in the intro. Yes, and that's actually a hallmark. Guys, even ChatGPT gave me this. Okay, so if we understand that, now let's go look at this in an argumentative essay. This is why I like a computer so much, because it just corrects you on the spot. So in an argumentative essay, now I need to go and I need to look at the topic. Should school learners be allowed to date? If I believe that it is negative, then I could only mention negative points of view, negative aspects. If I believe that it's positive, I could only mention positive aspects. Now, this is where I don't want you guys to make the mistake. I don't want you to have a discursive essay's introduction, but then the rest of your essay is argumentative, because you're going to lose marks there. I don't want you to have an argumentative essay's introduction and then the essay is discursive. You're going to lose marks there. So let's say I don't believe dating is a thing in high school. I will then go and I will say dating should not be practiced by learners in high school. Many a time a learner's future is ruined because they spend more time trying to impress their significant other rather than opening a book to read or practicing an essay to write. So can you guys see the difference in tone here? Here I've only mentioned my point of view. To even re-emphasize it again, I can say dating should only start after the age of 35. Now, paragraph 1 is going to be what I mentioned here. Many learners, their futures are ruined. So, body paragraph 1 is going to be about school is for learning, not socializing. Parents do not pay money for learners to go to school and find a potential mate. Mate isn't a good word. A potential suitor. When at school, a learner is not only laying the foundation of their future, they are building the pieces of it. Dating leads to distraction, and with the short attention span of learners, focusing solely on academics should be the main priority. So there I've argued one point of view. Trying to, rather than opening a book or practicing to write an essay, dating should only start after the age of 19. So now my second body paragraph is going to be what I have written here about the age. Dating before the age of 19 can only lead to disaster. Learners 19 or younger do, I'm going to put a comma in there. Learners 19 or younger do not possess the emotional intelligence. Guys, my brain is off. Intelligence to make mature decisions. What they regard as being wise is only foolish. They do not understand how to control their emotions, and they tend to act on a whim. this leading to heartbreak and Taylor Swift songs forever on repeat. Do you guys see how I added a bit of humor? You guys can kind of do that. Don't try and add humor and then you sound like an idiot. That's what I'm saying. But you can add a bit of humor. Do you guys notice now how I've written in my introduction about the two things and now I've explained it? Now, when I get to my conclusion, I'm going to conclude everything again. Dating should be for young, mature adults. Dating among school learners should not be allowed by schools or their parents. Stay focused, work on your empire, and surely later on in life you will find your king or queen. That's it. Did you guys see the difference in tone? Did you guys see the difference in style? Okay, so I think the last thing that we are going to look at here, so subjective, you guys understood this, right? So positive, negatives for discursive, subjective is only your point of view. Then you are just going to reiterate, re-emphasize in your argumentative essay for the conclusion. Here at the end, you are going to give your point of view as to what you believe. Okay, so there was a question asked about how does one, let me just go and find the question, on how to improve transitioning from one paragraph to the next. So with that, if we look at, what did I type in point? If we look at an essay has flow. So what I mean by that is you have your intro, you have your body, you have your body, you have your body, and then maybe conclusion. So to have good flow, your intro needs to, like a river, if there's something in the way of a river, if there's rubbish or there's leaves or there's twigs or sticks, it's going to block the flow. So like a river, your essay needs to have a starting point. Then if you're telling a story, the story needs a beginning, it needs a middle and an end. So what we then use to have good flow in a story is sentence structure and paragraphing. I am not choosing that flippin' arrow, I'm choosing that one. Right? So how do you do that? If you go and watch the previous video and I speak about the introduction, your introduction is the foundation that you are laying, not lying. In your introduction, are you introducing a new idea? Are you giving us a background of the story, something that's happened before? You can even give the end of the story, right? So what you're going to do then is, if we go and we look at our intro, right? In the intro, like I said, you can start off. Let's go and find a topic quickly. If we look, the past still haunts me as our, right? In our intro, we can then have the following. We can speak about how the past haunts everyone, about how you made a mistake. So depending on the type of essay, if it's a narrative essay and I want to write a story, I can say, for example, October the 13th is a day that will haunt me for the rest of my life. It wasn't my fault, but the events of that day led me to make a decision that I regret up until today. I don't know if it will ever leave me or if I'll ever be able to move on from it. So what I've done in the introduction is I've introduced the idea of the past still haunting me. But what I've done in the introduction is I have given you the taste of what I want to write about. Something that, okay, what is this person going to say next? Why does the past still haunt them? What happened on the specific date? So that is what you then do in the introduction for that. When you then move on to body paragraph 1, you start telling your story. Hello, my name is Lena. I'm a 13-year-old girl and I'm in my last year of primary school. It was a normal sunny day when I woke up on October the 13th. I didn't think anything would happen that day, but little did I know that it would be a day that molded my life. I got into the car with my mother and I told her that I had forgotten my lunchbox at home. We decided that we would stop at the shops that afternoon we would stop at the shops that morning to buy me a lunch. That is my intro. Now, how do I link it to the next paragraph? So now I need to have flow. So now I've spoken about or given an idea as to why or what that day could have entitled. It's still a bit vague. It's still a bit ambiguous. It's not answering. Then in the next paragraph, in the previous paragraph, I ended on, we stopped at the shops that morning. So then the next paragraph is going to be what happened at the shops. So do you see how in the introduction I mentioned about the past still haunting me, about a specific day? Intro body paragraph number 1, I've given an overall introduction about who I am, an event that happened at that day. Then when I get to body paragraph number 2, I will speak about what has happened at the shops, for example. We stopped at Spar that afternoon, or why do I keep saying that afternoon? We stopped at Spar that morning, and my mother told me that I can run into the shops and quickly go and buy myself lunch for that day. She gave me her credit card, and with a huge smile on my face, I ran into the shop. I ran through all the aisles to look what I was looking for. I got myself a sandwich, a cool drink, and 2 slabs of chocolate. On my way out, after having paid, I saw something that would change my life. I looked up and next to my mother was a man holding a gun next to her head. He was shouting at her to get out of the car. ... Can you see how, right? Then the next body paragraph, I'm going to then develop that. My mother, being the stubborn woman that she was, did not get out of the car. The man hesitantly pulled on the handle. When he finally opened the door, he pulled my mother to the floor and shot her 6 times in the chest. I stood there, mouth open, gasping for air, my heart beating out of my chest, oxygen busy suffocating what was supposed to be giving me life. I saw my mother bleeding. I didn't know what to do. It felt as if 1,000 pains had been inflicted on me. I stood there looking at my mother busy dying in front of my eyes. Now I'm going to develop it even more. If only I had, so now we are in this paragraph here. If only I had remembered to take my lunchbox with me that morning, we wouldn't have stopped at the shop. My mother wouldn't have been mugged at gunpoint. Up until today, I still blame myself for my mother's death. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get rid of this burden that I carry. So actually, this body paragraph would be my conclusion. But do you see how I developed from the intro, how it's the worst day that's ever happened, and then I told the story of the happening of the happening of that day. And then I concluded with why the past still haunts me. Honey, do you see what I did there? Do you guys see what I did there? Remember, guys, when I read, I want to be able to experience what you guys are writing. That is, no, being shot 6 times isn't. No, that wouldn't be too much. Exactly, and that's what you do. So if it's a narrative, you tell a story. Remember, a story needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. If it's a reflective, so this was essentially, Malindi, you see here, this was essentially a narrative reflective essay. But it also had elements of description, because by the way that Bad Boy and Obama are reacting, you guys can kind of see that I described it in such a way that it has elicited a reaction from them. So in paragraph writing, we have a thing called a topic sentence. And the topic sentence is what that paragraph is going to be about. Okay? So every paragraph needs a topic sentence. Now the topic sentence can be at the beginning of the paragraph, the very first line. It can even be the last sentence of that paragraph. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the beginning. So when we look at the flow from introduction to body, the goal of your introduction is to introduce the topic, to narrow it down, and then present a clear argument or what you are going to talk about. Okay? From there, from between the body paragraphs, you need to link or use linking words, phrases. So in addition, however, so this would be more for an argumentative essay, right? That is how you would then link your argumentative essay. Once you make a point, you want to elaborate on the point further by adding more examples or telling a story. When we look at this, what you would do there is we would use a lot of ambiguity. We would use things of where we go and we would write something, and then when we develop it, we add more to the story. And then finally, what we had mentioned in the introduction is then concluded in our conclusion. So guys, when we look at the topic sentence is usually at the start of the paragraph. It can appear at the end of the sentence, but only it's actually not called a topic sentence, then it's called an implied or delayed topic sentence. And this is, it works when you build up on your idea first and then reveal your main point. So to keep it basic and to stick to the basics, I would say have your topic sentence at the start. So the introduction, the past still haunts me. Okay, that is so your introduction is going to be about speaking about the emotions that you might have experienced that day. You aren't necessarily going to mention what it was about. Then the topic sentence for paragraph number 1 would be, hello, my name is Lena. You would introduce yourself, and then you would just give a bit of background information, all right, about what happened in the story. So the end of paragraph 1 would then be, my mother decided that we could go to the shops. Paragraph 2, the topic sentence would be when we stopped at the shops, and then you could speak about how you went inside the shop to buy or purchase everything that you wanted. At the end of this body paragraph, you are then going to make a statement or give a further implication about why the past still haunts you, right? So at the end of body paragraph number 2, you're going to say is, my jaw hit the ground when I saw a man standing next to my mother holding her at gunpoint, right? Then paragraph body number 3 is going to be about the experience that you had about how your mother was ripped from her car seat and shot 6 times and how the events unfolded there. Then for your conclusion, you would speak, or your topic sentence there would be about why what happened in the previous body paragraph has an implication as to why the past still haunts you, about how you are continually blaming yourself. Do you guys understand that? Okay. Um, Once again, guys, the one way that you are going to become a better essay writer is by practicing. Practice makes perfect, guys. And once again, you literally, like, my job as a teacher, you guys don't even need me because you literally have AI to help you. So you can literally go, you can write an essay, upload it here, and you can ask it to improve your writing. You can even say commonly used words and better synonyms. So very, you can say extremely or highly, big, significant, substantial, small, minor, minimal, good, beneficial, effective. And this is how you build up your vocabulary, guys. I don't want you to. And do you guys notice that a lot of these words, make is a weak word, but create, produce is a stronger word? You don't have to go all out and speak in Shakespearean English, right? So I was excited, I was enthusiastic, I was eager. It's not overdoing it. It's like when you want to season your meat or your food, you don't want to use too much seasoning because it too much seasoning ruins it. Excuse me. For you guys that are here, are there any other questions that you guys have? Anything that you guys want to know? Thank you. Other than that, guys, I think we are done. We've been busy for an hour and a half now. My advice to you would be now, kind of go and practice. Um, Time management. Make sure that you time yourselves properly. Um, Read up on essays. Ask ChatGPT to produce an essay that you can adapt. Memorize it. Memorize some stronger words. That would be my advice to you guys. I became a good writer because I enjoy writing. So I used to write a lot. I practiced writing a lot. So I would recommend that to you guys. Do we have any questions, guys? Anything that you guys want to know? Sir, can you please send the leaked paper on the group? No, I'm not going to do that. Mm-mm. I'm not going to send anything anything that I can get into trouble for doing that. So I'm not gonna do that. I can share it with you once you guys have written. The transactional, the term test and the essay counts the most. The essay is 50 marks. The term test is 35 marks. So 85. So we can actually work it out, guys. Um, I think it's. I'm speaking under correction here. It's 15 marks for the listening comprehension, 25 marks for the transactional, 50 marks for the term test. So this is listening. Transactional, essay, I think It's unprepared speech, eh? Unprepared speech, I think, is 15. And then term test, 35. So the most is ESSA, but everything has a different weighting, guys. Let me just see something quickly. I don't want to leak this because I can get into trouble for this. Marks per group, matrix 221. I think I can check your weightings here. Okay, so the listening comp, foot sack, the listening comp out of the 15 marks counts 20.43% of your term mark. The essay, sorry, the essay and the transactional just swapped around. So essay is task 2, that's task 3. The essay, ooh, no, but this can't be right. Oh, this is for, I think, huh? No, guys, I don't know what the weightings are. Unless... guys, I'm gonna go have to check for you guys. I don't know what the weightings are. I'm gonna have to check for you guys. I don't know what the weightings are, but I can tell you now that even though the essay might count 50%, it's not necessarily going to be the thing that counts the most for your term mark. So I'll find that. I'll try and find that out for you guys. I don't know. Isn't it written on your front pages? It might be written on those front assessment pages. Okay, guys, if there aren't any questions, please go and like my YouTube short. And like the other videos and stuff as well, please. I'll find out. I'll find out about this. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Guys, are there any other questions? Anything you guys want to know? If not, guys, thank you for being here. I hope you guys can take away something. It feels to me again like we didn't do anything, but I might be wrong. There's a song that I used to listen to, but I can't remember. Okay, guys, if there isn't anything else, I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing the third poem tomorrow. And yeah, go practice writing an essay, do something productive, learn something new. And then I will see you guys tomorrow. If there's any questions, guys, please ask. And yes, we can take it from there. one of my favorite videos ever.
Roger? Roger?
What do you want, bitch?
How dare you?
Yeah, I said it.
How dare you?
Yeah, I said it.
How dare you?
I don't even care. And he agrees with me. Oh, yeah, what do you want, bitch?
Please shut the fuck up. Who do you
Whoa,
think you
guys, I
are?
can't play it, it's swearing. Whoops. Whoops. I'm not gonna play the rest. I'm gonna watch the rest, but I'm gonna play it to you. I apologize. Anyways, guys, let me go mark. Let me go mark. And then I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. Let's see, is there anything else that I can play? Guys, I don't know why I have this in my search history. Why is this in my history? I don't know. I think I wanted to crip walk, yeah. Guys, if Pi wasn't abandoned out at sea, this is what would have happened to him. Guys, bye-bye. Have a good day. Have a good everything. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.